Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so you've given us quite the stack here. 5 straight days of nifty new newsletters, October 27th to the 31st. Looks like a really packed week.
Oh, absolutely. Packed is an understatement. You could argue it was one of the most defining weeks of the entire year for crypto's integration into, well, everything else.
Yeah, feels like we're watching the industry shift gears in real time. So our goal today is to really cut through that daily fire hose of info and pull out the biggest, maybe most surprising moves. What do you need to understand now?
Exactly. We want to give you the fast track. And if you boil down those 5 days, there are really 3 core narratives that just leap out.
Okay, let's hear the TLDR first then.
All right. First, you've got the overwhelming success of the first real altcoin ETFs, specifically Solana's BSOL, just huge institutional validation there.
Right.
Second, legacy finance giants, we're talking Mastercard, Western Union, making massive infrastructure plays in the stablecoin race, really doubling down.
Okay, big names. And third,
A major expansion push from the NFT world, led by Yuga Labs and ApeFest, moving way beyond digital into, serious IP territory.
Solana ETFs, TradFi stablecoins, and Ape IP goes mainstream. Got it. That really sets the scene. So let's dive in chronologically, starting Monday, October 27th. The big story was ApeFest in Vegas, right? Yuga Labs basically unloaded a ton of news.
Yeah, it was a proper info dump, like you said. They essentially planted their flag. Bored Ape Yacht Club is a global IP brand, full stop. No more debate.
And they backed that up with physical world plans.
Absolutely. Confirmation of the permanent physical clubhouse in Miami. Construction starts January 2026. That's not just talk, that's serious capital investment in bricks and mortar.
Makes it very real. And what about the digital side, the partnerships? Our newsletter mentioned Amazon.
Yeah, a huge deal for Other Side, their metaverse project. They're bringing it straight to Amazon's storefront via Amazon Gaming. That's massive mainstream exposure.
Wow, okay. And they didn't stop there.
No, they also announced a BAYC animated series. New brand collabs, BMW, Snoop Dogg were mentioned. It's the classic IP expansion playbook, really.
Taking it beyond the crypto bubble.
Exactly. But maybe the most strategically interesting piece was the focus on actual utility and payments.
Ah, right, 8Pay, that new IRL payment terminal thing they're doing with Privy.
Precisely. This is a direct attempt to make APE, their token, usable for everyday stuff, not just trading.
Yeah.
Real-world commerce at, say, that future Miami clubhouse.
And using Privy helps with the tricky parts.
That's the key. Privy handles the hardware, the compliance, the regulations, all the messy stuff.
Yeah.
It lets APE potentially function as a real payment method in physical spots. And this ties right into the tokenomics update, too.
Okay.
They're ending the staking rewards for APE and moving towards a deflationary model. The idea is to encourage actually using the token, not just holding it for yield.
Interesting. So Monday establishes NFTs as serious IP with real-world ambitions. Now, let's jump to Tuesday, October 28th. Our newsletter update shifted hard towards, well, pure market frenzy, layer 2s, specifically MegaETH.
Oh, frenzy is putting it mildly. The demand for Mega was just off the charts. They had this public token sale planned for 72 hours.
And it lasted, what, 5 minutes?
5 minutes. Completely sold out, hit their max cap, nearly $50 million. That locked in a $1 billion fully diluted valuation right away.
But the underlying demand was even crazier, wasn't it? The numbers in the source material were pretty wild.
Totally wild. The sale was apparently 3 times oversubscribed. Over $350 million in pre-deposits were sitting there ready to go.
Wow.
And get this, over 100,000 users went through KYC just for a shot at participating. If they'd actually met that demand, you're looking at a hypothetical FTV closer to $7 billion.
That's just incredible heat for new infrastructure tech, pure speculation meeting real demand.
It really is. But here's the crucial contrast. While all that retail excitement was exploding around Mega, the quiet, methodical gears of institutional finance were turning in the background, laying the groundwork for those altcoin ETFs we mentioned.
Right. While everyone's chasing Mega, the serious structural stuff is happening. NYSE Arca formally certified the Bitwise Solana staking ETF, BSOL, that same day.
Exactly. And not just that, Canary funds got the green light for their spot HBAR and LTC ETFs. They were made effective, set to start trading the very next day on NASDAQ.
So Tuesday set the stage perfectly for Wednesday, October 29th, the actual launch day for these new altcoin ETFs.
And what a launch day. Our newsletter broke down the volumes, and the story was crystal clear. 3 funds debuted, LSOL, LTCC for Litecoin, and HBR for HBR.
Total volume was around $65 million combined for day one.
Yeah, $65 million total.
Yeah.
But the split was staggering. DSOL, the Solana ETF from Bitwise, it did $56 million of that by itself.
56 million. out of 65.
Yep. HBR saw about $8 million, and Litecoin just $1 million. The market instantly picked Solana. It wasn't even close.
So ESOL wasn't just successful, it was the most successful ETF launch of 2025, period. What made it stand out so dramatically? Why Solana? Why that specific ETF?
2 words. Staking yield. The BSOL ETF isn't just holding Solana. It's designed to stake the underlying SOL and pass that yield, that return, onto the ETF holders.
Ah, so investors get potential price appreciation plus a yield from the network itself.
Exactly. That makes it fundamentally more appealing, especially to large institutional players, compared to a simple spot ETF like for Litecoin or HBR that doesn't generate any inherent return. It just changes the whole calculation for them.
Makes sense. Gives it an edge.
A huge edge. And you have to remember, Bitwise's CIO, Matt Hugin, basically called it maybe the most successful ETP launch of all time, if you adjust for the size of Solana's market cap compared to, say, Bitcoin when its ETFs launched.
That's a bold claim.
It is, but the numbers back it up. And the context here is important, too. These ETFs launched using some specific filing rules during a government shutdown. It was kind of a regulatory weapon.
First mover advantage.
Sort of, yeah. It signaled that the institutional land rush for crypto assets is definitely moving beyond just Bitcoin and Ether now. And we saw BSOL keep that momentum going, right? Didn't it hit $72 million on day 2?
Yeah, the follow-up confirmed even stronger volume. Just incredible demand. Okay, so that firmly plants Solana as the institutional favorite for now. Let's shift to the final big theme, which really dominated the end of the week, October 30th and 31st. This feels, maybe, the most strategically important long-term. Legacy finance, TradFi, racing to build on stablecoin tech.
This is where it gets really interesting, I think. We're seeing these huge established players making multi-billion-dollar bets on where payments are headed. On Wednesday the 30th, news broke about Mastercard.
Right. They're reportedly in the late-stage talks to buy a company called Zerohash.
Yeah, Zerohash. And not for pocket change.
Yeah.
The figures being thrown around are massive, $1.5 billion to $2 billion.
Wow. And Zerohash isn't like a consumer crypto app, right? It's more infrastructure.
Exactly. They provide the back-end tech, the licenses, the regulatory plumbing that lets banks and fintechs offer crypto services properly, legally.
So Mastercard potentially spending up to $2 billion on that? What's the signal there?
It signals absolute stablecoin fever among the big players. It's an arms race for the infrastructure. Mastercard isn't just partnering, they're trying to own the critical layer that connects old finance to new tokenized systems. Buying Zerohash would put serious pressure on Visa, Stripe, everyone else playing in this space.
They want to own the future pipes of money movement.
That's the play.
Yeah.
And then, bam, the very next day, Thursday the 31st, you get the Western Union news, which just reinforces that whole narrative.
Western Union, I mean, that's a 175-year-old company, a giant in global remittances.
A pillar of the old system. And they announced plans to launch their own U.S. dollar-backed stablecoin called USDPT, planned for the first half of 2026.
Okay, that's huge. And which blockchain did they choose?
Solana, again. See the pattern. And crucially, the issuer will be Anchorage Digital Bank.
Anchorage. They have a federal banking charter, don't they?
They do. That's key. It means Western Union is building this from day one to be fully regulated, fully compliant at the federal level. This isn't some fly-by-night operation.
They're using the new regulatory clarity.
Precisely. This comes right after the Genius Act passed, providing clearer rules for stablecoins. Western Union even filed a trademark for WUSD, betting their legacy on this shift.
And the goal is cheaper, faster payments for their millions of customers.
Yeah, they have something like 100 million customers. The idea is to replace the old, slow, expensive correspondent banking system with near-instant settlement on Solana, cutting costs dramatically.
So you put these two stories together, Mastercard maybe buying the infrastructure for billions, Western Union building its own regulated stablecoin on Solana for its massive customer base. It just paints a picture of industry consensus, doesn't it? Stablecoins and tokenization aren't experimental anymore. They're seen as the inevitable future for payments.
Absolutely. The debate is over. The build-out has begun.
Okay, let's quickly recap the big takeaways from this deep dive into the Nifty Noon updates then. 1. Clear institutional love for Solana, shown by BSOL's crazy volumes and Western Union's choice.
Yep, undeniable.
2. Intense, almost frantic demand for new Layer 2 tech, like we saw with Mega. Huge appetite for the next wave of infrastructure.
The retail side is definitely still hot.
And 3, The TradFi payment giants are not waiting around. They are actively building and buying their way into the stablecoin future. It's an infrastructure race.
A high-stakes race.
Yeah.
And notice how much of this was enabled or accelerated by regulatory progress, whether it was the ETF path or the stablecoin clarity from the Genius Act.
That's a great point. This week really felt like legitimization and formalization hitting overdrive. But here's a thought. While all this regulated institutional stuff is happening, our sources also sprinkled in updates about the other side of crypto, the prediction markets. Polymarket getting ready to re-enter the US, Truth Social launching prediction markets, and even worries about how betting markets might be affecting things like election odds, referencing some NYC election data.
Right, the speculation layer isn't going away.
Exactly. So here's the question maybe to leave you, the listener, with. As crypto finance gets more buttoned up and integrated with the mainstream, how does that interact with this parallel, often decentralized world of public betting and speculation? Can they coexist easily? How might that speculative side influence politics or social trends, even as the financial side becomes more legit?
That tension is fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Between the regulated rails and the open prediction platforms. That's definitely something to watch going forward.
Absolutely. It's a space full of potential friction and, well, interesting developments.
For sure.
Well, thank you for tuning into this deep dive. If you want to keep up with these market shifts day by day, definitely follow Nifty Noon on X and Substack for that daily analysis. We'll catch you next time.